Well, hello, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. Jiu-Jitsu 2000 here today. I hope you guys are doing wonderful out there. In this video today, I'm going to go through some of your comments. So let's get started. You know, if I try to type comments back at the rate that I type, it is very overwhelming. I have almost 2,000 videos, and that's a lot of comments to keep up with. So I thought that I would try this new format of just picking a video. Now, I'm not logged in here. I'm not signed in or anything. But I'm going to pick a video here, and I'm just going to talk about some of your comments. So we're going to go to this ammo shortage video. Stay prepared, ahead of the curve. We're going to go open that in a new tab. My internet's going to be a little bit slow today. I'm downloading. I'm working on some things. So internet's going to be a little bit slow. So please bear with me on this video. We'll go ahead and pause that. And then we'll wait a few seconds for those of you who love being patient. And I'll get over here, and what I want to do is I want to sort the comments. And I want to put the newest comment on the top and the oldest comment on the bottom. So I'm just going to go all the way to the bottom and start with the first comment that came through, and I'm going to work my way up on this video. And hopefully you guys will enjoy this format that I'm trying. This is just a test video. You know, I just want you guys to know that I'm not ignoring you, that I do love you guys, and that I do see your comments and I love reading them. So hopefully you guys will like this format. If you do, leave it in a comment on this video and I'll do more things like this. So we'll start right here. Do you pick up holes too? It's getting harder to find reloadable holes, primers, and buckshot now. Okay, so let me start with that portion. Do I pick up holes? Yes, I do. I have a bag full of holes. It's getting harder to find the primers. Yes, 209 shotgun primers are actually easier to find and more available than like small pistol, small rifle, large pistol, large rifle primers. So the 209s are still available. Buckshot, yeah, you're right about that. Buckshot. Now, I don't know if you've ever thought about entertaining the idea of getting a buckshot mold and casting your own buckshot lead. I don't know if you've thought of that, but that's definitely a viable option for you. Your original range lead video is what got me into reloading. Wow, that is powerful. That really touches my heart. Thank you for that right there. It's things like that that really touch my heart and make me happy and make me feel like what I'm doing has some sort of meaning to it. So thank you for that. I really appreciate it, especially when I see something like that that has such a positive impact. You know, very, very cool of you to do that. I would love it if someone came up with a way to survival reload a hole. Complete with the home remanufactured primer if possible. I'm not sure that it is, however. Now with the 209 shotgun primer, to be completely honest, I don't know how easy that would be to reload that primer. I've reloaded standard primers, you know, small pistol, small rifle, large pistol, large rifle. I've reloaded those before, and I don't dare say how to do it, especially in the form of a video, and that's probably why people don't see videos of that on YouTube, because it's one of those things that is just, you'll be shadow banned if you share that kind of information. But there's definitely a way to do it, and I wish that I could just tell everybody how, but our freedom of speech is under attack already. So us as YouTubers, we already have to be super careful about what we're doing. Now, to go back to your portion where you're saying, I wish somebody would show how to survival reload. Now, I have done that before. I didn't use a hull. I used paper, and it worked good. There's an old video. Oh, gosh. It's called How to Reload a Shotgun Shell in a Survival Situation, or something to that effect. Okay, let's move forward. J.C. Campbell 003. People that go to the range to pick up brass but don't shoot are called brass goblins. I love it. I love it. You're awesome. Pterodactyl Jones. Good morning prayers. Thank you for the prayers, and good morning to you too. You've been very loyal to my channel, always commenting, and I appreciate my regulars, and you're definitely one of them, so thank you so much for that. And Ronette Harvey. I thought immediately, put them in my pocket. And you're right. You know, I was out there on my Honda Trail, putting around, and I just on a whim decided, and I had my camera, and just on a whim I decided to go out and shoot that video. So I wasn't even prepared. I had my camera and I had my Honda Trail, and the video that you saw was just me out there trying to put that all together. And I should have left the house with a Walmart bag at the least in my pocket, or a dry sack or something. That would have been pretty cool. But, you know, hey, we all learn from these kind of things. Okay, so let's see. Zed, good to see you back and active. Thank you so much. I've been here. I've been active. I drop videos every Wednesday. So I haven't went anywhere, but thank you for that love there. Kind of jealous that one can just go out and pick up brass freely like that. Can't do it on my end for certain reasons. Yeah, it is a blessing, definitely. I've got all kinds of different brass, rounds of brass, and it's from range style pickup. Here in the Southwest, these states, people go shooting and they just leave their brass. So it's really nice to be able to go out and do that. Being able to reload and reuse them is great too. But the real problem with reloading is primers. You're 100% right about that on primers. The other day, I went to Flagstaff, and I always buy my primers by the 1,000. And I remember when the days of paying $30 1,000 or something like this was the norm. And then I remember watching it creep up, you know, $50 1,000, you know, 75. So the other day I found some small pistol primers. They were match primers, so match always costs more. But I ended up spending $130 for 1,000 primers. That's just ridiculous. It's crazy. Bare bones survivalist tutorials thus far have made use of things like party poppers and toy gun plastic roll caps, which aren't even widely available in my area. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. You can do that. When it's possible to order things like Prime Mail, I don't know what that is, with all this anti-gun nonsense going on and bank card corpos tracking certain purchases and whatnot, I have my reservations on even entertaining the idea. But the real problem when the SHTF and all manner of commercial logistics becomes non-existent, it would be great to at least have some idea of what can be used in place of commercial stuff. Hey, you know, I and having the chemicals on stock, you know, I believe you and I agree with you 1,000%. That is, you know, and I wish that I could share information about that topic, but I can't. If I do, I mean, I already got a strike just for saying some political stuff, just for voicing an opinion. So I got to be very conservative about what I put out there. I don't want to lose my channel. And then Stephanie says, you must live in California. A friend of mine ordered her gun in separate pieces since it's the only legal way where she is. Wow, interesting. Okay, now William, I always keep a 3-pouch bandolier with rolled up reusable grocery bags inside the car. Yeah, absolutely. That's a good idea. I should have done that too. In the basket on the back of my trail should have been a dry sack or a dry bag or something. Larry would love to be able to find an open place to shoot like that for free. Much jealous. Yeah, that's true. We have a lot of open areas here in the Southwest where we can go shoot, we can hunt for brass, we can do all kinds of things. It is a blessing, and it's actually getting worse because we have a lot of people coming out into these areas and leaving their trash out there. So it's unfortunate. And if people continue to not pick up after themselves, we're gonna lose it too. It's just crazy. And then who shoots 60 rounds of 270? Expensive. Yes, that's probably some kid that his dad works for the railroad or something and makes good money. Some high school kid or something. Takes 5 rounds to sight in a hunting rifle. You're 100% right about that. 30-06. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it doesn't take a lot to sight in a rifle if you know what you're doing. And to sight in your charge, of your reload. I usually take a few rounds of, like let's just say for the topic here, let's just say that the recipe starts at 37 grains and it goes up to 41 grains or something like that of powder. So I'll make like 3 or 4 rounds of 37s, 3 or 4 rounds of 38 grains, 39s, 40s, and then I'll go out to the range and I'll shoot each one of those, and I'll do it the same way, a cold barrel. I'll let the gun cool down after each group, and I'll see which ones are the most accurate. And then I'll come home, and then let's say it was the 40s. Let's say the 40 grains of powder was the most accurate. Then I'll come home and I'll reload like 39.5, 40, 40.5, and just little increments like that. Then I'll head back out and I'll do the same thing. Cold bore rifle. I'll shoot those groups. Maybe it's 3 shots or 5 shots, whatever, however many rounds you want to let down range. And then that's how I determine the most accurate load for that cartridge. And it works really good. And that's really to get it fine-tuned. And of course, other things go into account, like trimming your brass and things like that. Okay, so let's talk to Peter here. Brass around the Las Vegas desert shooting areas at one time were plentiful, and most of it was once fired. That began to change about 3 years ago. Yeah, look at the prices of brass. I was at Sportsman's Warehouse a couple days ago, and I was looking at brass, and there was, I think it was 100 rounds of brass was, I can't remember, but it was expensive. And I thought, holy smokes, there's no way that me being spoiled is going to pay for that when I have range scrap that I can go pick up. My usual spots are picked clean now, and rarely do you even find rim fires. Now, rim fires, I don't pick those up. People are probably picking it up and recycling it if they're picking up rim fire. If they're not reloading, it's probably showing up as, yeah, you just said exactly what I said. Castings left behind are steel and some shotgun shells. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. I believe it, and I don't doubt for a second that that's coming to our area. And Chris, my good friend, local here, awesome video, Skeet. Cool to see videos that are in the same general area. I usually take a 5-gallon bucket with me and go let the dogs run. It seems like everyone has the same idea, though, because the last few times I've been out there, it's been pretty slim. Yeah, you're right. You're exactly right. Definitely a nice score on the 30-06 brass. Not very many people leave them behind anymore. That's true. And I've got some spots, and I'm sure you do too. I got some little special spots that I don't show in video where I know people are shooting and they're leaving their brass. Well, I'll let one of them out of the bag. One of them is actually on my land. Someone goes out there and shoots all kinds of stuff on my land, and the brass is on my land, and I go out there and I pick it up. Anyways, great video, man. I'll see you around and look forward to the next one. Thank you so much, Chris, for that comment. Absolutely fantastic, my brother. And Earl Shaner, this dude, my brother, you are like the most loyal commenter that I have, man. Thank you for the support, the love. I really appreciate you. It's always good to see you. And I know that sometimes I don't message back or I don't comment back. I get overwhelmed sometimes, but don't think that I don't love anybody here that's leaving comments. So Stephen Cunningham, I love picking up old brass. I used to take my sons out to a military camp before they closed it to the public. It was back in the early 90s. We'd go to the public range and hunt brass and bullets. And that's another key right there, bullets, finding the lead itself. I've done videos in the past where I've showed you going to the backstops and picking out lead because, you know, I cast my lead. So that's another way of doing it. My boys were young and they'd have fun matching the bullets to the correct brass sizes. Yeah, that's true, and that's good education for them. They get to learn what a 38 is, what a 9mm or what a 45 looks like. That's pretty cool. Now today when we shoot, I'll pick up all of our brass and sell it. That's a good thing too. You know, you can make a little change off of it. People go out there, and I think most of the people, and this is just an opinion here, but I think most of the people that probably go out and leave all this brass behind, they're probably the young generation. Like I mentioned earlier, the dad has a good job, the mom works, she's a nurse or whatever, and the kid gets out of school and decides, oh, I'm going to take dad's deer rifle out and shoot. Oh, he's got 4 boxes of ammo and he's rich, you know. So they go out and they blow all these rounds, and they don't think about reloading, even though their dad probably has a rock checker in the shop. It's not to discount the young generation, but I think that's who's doing it. So I hope that they continue to do it. It's wonderful. Now, Jason Williams, my brother here from Utah, I've noticed that brass is getting harder to find also. Normally, I would come home with a 2-gallon bucket every weekend. Now I'm lucky to get a 44-ounce cup full. Wow, Jason. That's so true. I think too many people are hoarding too much. And we're all guilty of it. We all go out there and do our thing. And people, I think, are starting to realize through the politics and through the changes and things that we're seeing in our world that brass is starting to become a precious commodity. And people are, if you go back to the 1980s when I was a kid and I used to play Mario Brothers, I mentioned it in that video that we're commenting on here. Nobody wanted to play Mario Brothers with me because I would pick up every single coin before I'd clear a level. And they're like, dude, it's only 2 coins, leave it. You got to jump over there and risk dying to get those 2 coins? I've always been that way. So the other day I was out walking around and I found three 9mm casings. What did I do? Picked them up, put them in my pocket. 3. Just, I don't know. I'm crazy. I think I got problems. I think I do. I have serious problems. Smoky 143, not a bad haul though. Yeah, that's true. That's true. And honestly, I don't go out like what Jason was saying every weekend. I'll go out like once every couple of months. I don't go out all the time. So I don't hoard the brass. I go out, like I said, every other month or something like that. I'll go out there. So I try to leave. If I was out there every day or every weekend or whatever, I'd be hoarding that whole place. And I don't think that's fair for those that do that. We got to leave some of it for everybody else to go get. And the brass can't be reloaded because of splitting it. Can be taking it to the recycle. Yeah, that's true. If you have brass that can't be reloaded, You're 100% right. You can recycle that brass and make you a little money. Nice haul. Many hours of shooting therapy drying on that towel. That's a good way of looking at it, Keith. You're right. 270 brass is impossible to find right now. That's true. LM, you are right about that. That's like I said, I went to Sportsman's Warehouse and that stuff was expensive. Nerdy Prepper. I like that name. I love this video, man. Thank you for everything you do. You're welcome, and thank you for the comment and for stopping by, and all of you that are dropping these comments and all of you that are thumbing up my videos. I really appreciate you, all of you. Scott Combs. Funny you bring this up. Just yesterday I put some Walmart bags in my truck for when I go to the range. Smart man. Smart man. And here's another comment from Scott. Another great video. Years ago, I bought some ground walnut hull to make pumice-like soap. I still have about 20 pounds left, so I dry tumble brass in the walnut media and add a few drops of new finish car polish. Wow, I'll have to try that. Thank you for that recommendation. I use corncob and walnut. And now I use stainless steel and water in that Frankfurt Arsenal. That thing is excellent. Time for a fanny pack. Stephanie, you're right. I want to go hunting Easter eggs, adult version. Yeah, you're right. Gosh, I love your comments. I'm both of these accounts, so it gives you 2 likes from me. I've followed for years. Thank you for that. Thank you, 40 Stephanie. Thank you for that. And Jason Browning. Could have used your hat. You're 100% right. Frederick Morrison. Greetings from Tonopah, Arizona. And then I did comment back. I've been there. Yeah, I went through Tonopah 2022. I rented that RAV4 and I went to California. That Toyota RAV4. That's an awesome car. And I came back and I went through Tonopah. Cool area. And Bringer of Death. Oh, my Bringer of Death. Haven't seen you in a while. I'm not doing lives right now. They will come back, though. I know you're wondering. The lives will come back. I just don't know when. I've just been so busy. Yeah, you're definitely loyal to the channel. Thank you for that, Bringer of Death. So these ones that I've commented on, I'm just going to kind of go through them a little quicker. Anyone who reloads are putting their guns at risk. Never reload ammo. You'll blow up your guns. Now, Steve, I respectfully disagree, and I'm not discounting you, or I'm not putting you on blast, but I honestly believe that that comment isn't true. I've been reloading for years, and I've never had an issue. It takes a lot of patience and a lot of attention to detail, and you really got to read your load data. If you are baking a cookie and you put too much sugar in there, you're just going to have a sweet cookie. Everything's fine. But you can't do that with reloading. So if you have seen people that have blown up their guns, something was definitely wrong. Either they used a Magnum primer, or they put the wrong kind of powder, or they mixed powders, or I mean, the list goes on of things that can cause a firearm to blow up. So yeah, you gotta check your load data, my friend. But thank you for leaving that comment, because it brought up a good topic of conversation. And Two Pug Man, I started wet tumbling my brass 2 years ago. That's the way to do it. It really is. I tried the dry for many years and then tried sonic. I've not tried the sonic. I've seen friends do it, but I haven't done it. Wet tumbling with the fart machine is great. I don't use the pins. Sometimes I'll use the pins and sometimes I don't. It depends on how dirty the brass was. Sometimes just the brass casings bouncing off of themselves works. But Yeah, sometimes I put the pins in there too. Richard Harris, Police and Brass. Where does the people get these weird words? Yeah, I love your comment. So, folks, that's it for today's video, talking on the comments of ammo shortage video. I love you guys, and please, again, if you like this format of me doing the comment call, responding to your comments via video, it's much easier for me. If you like it, please leave it in the comment section down below and voice that, and I'll continue to do more. I might even put a poll out there or something where there might be a specific video that you guys want me to address comments on or something like that. And even if it's an old video, but leave it in the comments, communicate with me, and I'll definitely be back doing more of this stuff for you guys. So with all that being said, folks, thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed it. I love you all. We'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.